For a quarter of a century, people have tried to conquer me. The brave, the nimble, the mighty. Many have failed. Only the resilient have risen to the challenge. I am the island of Tasmania. I am vast, I am brutal. 24 times my opponents have confronted me, but these roads are my territory, my domain. Don't let my rugged good looks deceive you. Underneath this beauty lies a convict past, a ruthless heritage. When you come here, you'd better be ready for anything. One wrong move and my roads will consume you. You, on your pilgrimage, your quest for perfection. Every turn, every move. My terrain makes people stronger. My roads are where legends are made. Forever. Now, new generations are following in the footsteps of the legends. Those who have gone before you, they were some of the lucky ones, champions of the past. To the more than 700 men and women and their incredible machines in this year's 25th event, I'm ready. Welcome to TARGA Tasmania 2016.
Welcome to the city of Hobart, the capital of Australia's southernmost state, Tasmania. This is TARGA Tasmania 2016, the 25th anniversary of the world's largest tarmac rally. There's no doubt this is the edition of TARGA every competitor wants to win. There's a record fleet of more than 380 cars, but only a few can share in the glory.
It's all based on Targa Flora. It was a race around Sicily. Targa's Italian for plate. You finished, you got a plate. It's a pretty basic concept. And like Sicily, Tasmania was an island, you know, with fantastic roads. The initial lifespan of the event was 5 to 10 years, and here we are another 15 down the road from that. And the event's stronger than ever. And as cars get older, they become rarer, so you see less of them. So events like this become more special because you see cars that you just never ever see. Everyone has an opportunity to win, and everybody only wants to race against the cars of their era. There's 11 competitions in total, 2 of which are speed limited. The other 9 are all flat-out speed-based competitions, and they cover everything from the earliest classics right through to the latest cars.
The modern categories have been overhauled with 2 new classifications. The premier Rest Point GT2 competition is for 2-wheel drive cars, and the Country Club GT4 for 4-wheel drives. New technical rules mean very few modifications can be made to the cars, so they should be more evenly matched.
In the 2s, you've got the Porsche brand, which obviously they build fantastic 2-wheel drive cars. And you've got Matt Close in one, Jim Richards and Barry in another. So you've got the legend and the person who's probably likely to take the crown at some point in that car. For locals, it's fantastic. You know, you've got John and Jason White in the Viper, and it's great to see them in a 2-wheel drive. First time for them. And Craig Dean in the Shelby, again, you know, big American muscle car, and that's what people love to see, and they're so uncompetitive under the old rules. In GT4, well, you know, the 4-wheel drive's been a domain of the GTR for some time, and the Evo 10 sort of nipping at its heels, but we're very, very excited that Lamborghini hasn't left the event. You know, Tony Quinn's brought the Hurricane along, and it's a brand new Lamborghini, it's the latest spec thing, and he alone will keep all the Japanese cars honest. You're always remembered for winning TARGA Tasmania. People compare it to Bathurst, which is a good comparison in many ways, but I often do have a wry giggle about that because Bathurst goes for about 6 hours. This goes for 6 days, and you're on 40 racetracks, not 1. So, you know, it's a much longer event than Bathurst, and it's much harder to win. And it's great when you hear Jim Richards, who has 8 wins at TARGA, 7 wins at Bathurst, will always say that winning TARGA is so much harder than winning Bathurst. I mean, you have to have so many things go in your favour to win, and for them to win 8 times is an incredible achievement, and it'll take a monumental effort for someone to outstrip their efforts here. It should be hard to win so that you feel ultimate satisfaction when you achieve that, and that's why it's called the Ultimate Tarmac Rally.
The Classic competitions have also undergone a transformation. Classic outright is now known as Shannon's Classic GT, while Classic remains a handicap competition but returns to a single competition, showcasing cars of all makes and models from 1947 to 1985.
Peter Ulrich and Colin Byrne will be right up the front there, and they'll be hard to beat. The Freestones, I've brought this beautiful DB4 GT. It's one of 75 ever built. It's an incredible looking car. Ashley Elds and Andrew White in the Volvo again, but it's pretty wide open handicap because it's designed to be. Over in Classic GT, again, there's a lot of fast cars in there, and I think it'll be the one that actually is there on the last day. Speed will be part of the factor, but the defending champions here, Craig Hazeman, you've got John Siddons, Matt Cardinals, they're all in very fast cars.
No one day in TARGA Tasmania is the same. The event begins, as it always has, in Launceston. Ahead, 6 days and over 2,000 Ks, more than 500 competitive rally stage kilometres. Day one takes in the surrounds of the Tamar River before the traditional Georgetown Street Stage, supported by Georgetown Council for the first time. But it's day two where the real competition begins as drivers tackle the rugged and windy northeast. Day three heads through rural countryside in the state's north and northwest before a long-awaited return to Burnie. Day four sees the event head to the far northwest for the first time with 3 new stages and a lunch stop in picturesque Stanley before finishing at Strahan Village on the rugged west coast. Those tough enough to handle the unpredictable conditions continue the west coast route south on day 5, and day 6 sees 6 stages including 2 new stages before the event winds up in the capital, Hobart.
The event is run and won on the big long stages, and there's key ones there. Clearly Sathana, which is still everyone's favourite stage. Anybody who's ever driven over that road would be your favourite piece of road probably in the world. Rihanna, and then of course Mount Arrowsmith are the 3 big long stages where if you gain an advantage on your opponents, let's say a second a kilometre, you get 30 or 40 seconds bonus.
Dual TARGA Tasmania winner and inaugural champion Greg Crick is the official flag car.
25 years later, but still the same car, feels the same to sit in, same old bloke sitting beside me, and Rhonda flagging us away.
Well, there's the flag car leading, and TARGA Tasmania for 2016 is now officially underway.
What a fantastic day, ready to go.
Looking forward to it, it's exciting, the sun's out.
Nervous, first time out, so we'll see how we go.
Number 24 for me, and I haven't aged one bit since the first one, I reckon, anyhow.
17 together? Yes.
On the relationship?
We're doing okay.
This car actually was in the original TARGA Tasmania in 1992, so it's come back for a 25-year reunion too.
We first started our first one in 93, but no, terrific. We've enjoyed every one and still enjoying them.
4 stages, a mere 24k of competition. Drivers get the feel for conditions and their cars through the state's Tamar River wine-growing region. These early stages are designed to settle drivers in. In TARGA, base times are set for all TARGA stages, and most will clean or reach that time early on. But it gets harder as it goes. In GT Sports and TSD Trophy, drivers are restricted to a maximum of 130 k's an hour, with TSD teams also attempting to complete a stage at a predetermined average time. Cobwebs are blown out in the day's last stage, the Georgetown Super Stage, a 5k high-octane street stage. He's only had just a couple of runs in the new Viper, but Jason White's adjusted to the left-hand driver's seat and claims the Super Stage.
Starting to learn where the corners of the car are, managed to get through all the corners without hitting any gutters or tagging anything with wheels and tyres, so yeah, pretty good.
Day one results and the big guns have made their intentions clear early. This is the one they want. It promises to be a great day too in the four-wheel drive competition. 7 competitors fill out the top 4 placings. Seasoned TARGA Tasmania competitor Peter Ulrich leads in the Jensen CV8 by 5 seconds in the Classic Handicap event. In Classic GT, the Datsun 240Zs are on top of the table, but as everyone in TARGA knows, it's only early days.
Oh no.
Greg Priest and myself are very excited to be in TARGA again this year, or acting as the flag car. It's the 25th anniversary of our first win and the first TARGA. The 92 event was just something new and so exciting for this state. I think it was probably the first time since Longford finished in 1969 that we had an array of famous international drivers. You know, we had Jack Brabham, we had Denny Hulme, we had Sterling Moss. The excitement in the state was just amazing, and to go ahead and win it in that first year was an enormous thrill to us. It probably wasn't what was meant to happen. I really think they would have loved one of the big name international drivers to win the event, but didn't quite work out. The couple of local boys got up at the end, so to back it up again in 93 was fantastic for us. We sort of set out to show everyone that the first year wasn't a fluke. The Honda NSX was just something unique, and they used Ayrton Senna, one of the world's greatest drivers ever, to test and develop the car. When it came out in 1990, it was the first supercar that was usable. If you bought a Ferrari in that day and age, you wouldn't want to be driving it to work every day. You could do it in an NSX. It still had the road car seats in it, lap sash seat belts. We had our helmets on, and that was about it as far as the safety equipment went. And there was quite a few times where Preece ended up on top of me with his notes because he was sliding around on the leather seat. We should appreciate what we've got. We're in a unique situation where we've got the roads and the terrain that suits this event perfectly, as well as anywhere you could have it in the world. And luckily the community have embraced it over the last 25 years, and that's why I'm absolutely sure that it'll continue on.
Not all cars come to seek TARGA glory and fame or reach breakneck speeds. Manufacturers are using this event to showcase their vehicles.
We've got 59 cars in the tour. We're able to actually drive the stages before the competition cars come through. And they just come down here for 6 days. We take them for dinners, lunches and all that sort of thing, and they get to drive probably some of the best roads in the country.
We have 10 cars in the lineup, and we actually use the rally to launch our BMW M2 for the very first time here in Australia. I have the i8 here with me, and we want to really try what this car can do. But we want to take the whole motorsport excitement to the next level. TARGA Tasmania is certainly the right stage for us to lift the BMW brand.
Day 2 offers 7 stages and almost 70k of competitive rallying. Cars will traverse the state's northeast. There's the notorious Sidling stage, then Ledgerwood, Marina, Weldborough Pass, Pyangana, Elephant Pass and Rossarden. The relative ease of Day 1 in the Tamar Valley is left behind as competitors claw their way up Day 2's first stage, the Sidling. This is the first real test. Sharp hairpins and narrow roadside shoulders made for those with nerves of steel.
Sidling has always been the stage that sets the tone because it's a very technical, difficult stage. It's where the cream rises to the top very quickly on the Sidling because it brings the uninitiated unstuck quite easily.
On the very same corner, the 3 brand new supercars almost lose their showroom good looks.
Oh! You got that!
Fresh from TARGA High Country victory, the Porsche 911 GT3 of Matt Close is 8 seconds faster than White up the Sidling. He snatches a 5-second lead. White claims Ledgerwood and Marina. The Weldborough stage is the day's second longest, and over the 13k, both the Viper and GT3 clean the stage. It's tit for tat. Close takes stage 9 Pyangana, but White is 8 seconds ahead over the Elephant Pass stage. By day's end, the Porsche GT3 has a super slim 2-second lead.
You know, Whitey's pretty fast, so you gotta just hang in there. So we're the closest we've ever been any tarmac rally, so it's great.
There's a great battle brewing for the minor placings between the Ford Mustang Shelby GT of Craig Dean and the other Dodge Viper in the field, that of Michael Pritchard. Tony Quinn, aiming for a trio of TARGA competition wins, wants to make up time with local knowledge under his belt, Ben Mannion is flying in his Subaru WRX STI. He claims 4 of the day's stages. Well, Quinn is having issues with the Lamborghini Huracan.
We can't get it out of the traction control thing, so it keeps interfering with my good work. You know, I'm trying to do my best and it keeps going, no, don't want to do that. So it slows us down a fair bit.
In the classic competition, Peter Ulrich has made his intentions clear early. Queenslander Patrick Mewing's Lotus pips Ulrich up the sidling by a second, but the Jensen CV8 is fastest over Ledgerwood and Marina. Achterberg's Porsche 944 Turbo shows its agility over the twists of the Weldborough Pass, which moves him into second overall. Ulrich continues to produce great runs, while Andrew White makes the most of the final stage of the day, Rossarden. It's more turbulent in the classic GT competition, and the rally is thrown wide open when leader Peter Nunn hurtles out during the Ledgerwood stage.
Okay, come up, good. No. Keep it going. Sorry, Keith.
Speed was too high for the crest. I don't know if it landed bad or it started on the crest and then we ran wide off the edge. Thought I had it. Hit something and flicked back and and then it was just a wild ride from there. So I'm a bit disappointed with that, but that's the name of the game. This motorsport's very hard sometimes.
To the leaderboard in Rest Point GT2, Close holds a slender 2-second lead over White, with Dean more than 2 minutes back.
Just got a misfire issue. The engine misfires randomly on trailing throttle and then it loses power and I get about 200 horsepower less, which is not fun.
Peter Ulrich starts and finishes the day on top, ahead of the White and Yelds Volvo in Shannon's Classic. In Country Club GT4, Quinn's traction control issues have the Lamborghini 35 seconds back from Ben Mannion. And in Shannon's Classic GT, Matthew Cardinals holds the lead going into day 3. Following Peter Nunn's exit, Haseman sits in third.
Good day, cruisy ride through the country, not pushing too hard. Basically today was just to get my head around driving again.
If drivers thought today's roads were tough, tomorrow's leg promises even more action. They'll be heading up and over the striking northwest and here to the much anticipated and hair-raising Setharna stage.
Some of the best stages around, Setharna, Guns, Rihanna, and they're all just stringed together, so driver's paradise.
Today under the belt, good night's sleep, wake up in the morning, I'll be even faster, so we'll see how we go.
Picturesque autumn vistas and blue skies welcome the third day of TARGA Tasmania, a perfect day in paradise, unless you're a TARGA competitor hoping for some wet weather to minimise tyre wear.
Hopefully it'll come across and do a little bit of a rain dance because it's, we've got a little bit of, we've bothered the front tyres a little bit today.
Day 3 is the longest. There are 8 stages to be run, covering a massive 138 Ks. There's the heart-stopping Setharna stage and the last, Rihanna, a lengthy 38 Ks.
It's long, it's got fast corners, it's got slow corners, it's got a bit of everything.
One of the most exciting battles in TARGA history is brewing between White and Close, who so far have pushed each other hard. Close heads into day 3 with a 2-second lead over White. The Porsche GT3 and the Dodge Viper clean high planes. Close and White can't be separated again over Moriarty. White takes the longer Paluna stage, so by lunch, both the Viper and GT3 are all tied up.
It's obviously Whitey's playground, so we knew we'd have to dig pretty deep, but I think we're a couple of seconds off him through there, and we'll take that because, like I said, he's pretty hard to touch through there.
Got into Paluna, which is probably one of my favourite stages of the event. Quite familiar with it and can usually push on very hard through there, but couldn't really make the most of the car because the tyres couldn't quite keep up with the level of commitment that I was driving at.
Peter Ulrich's Jensen may have a decent lead, but Andrew White and Lee Achterberg claim day 3 first stage honours. By the Sheffield lunch break, White and Yelds have reduced Ulrich's lead to just 36 seconds, but this could all change in the afternoon section. Ben Mannion starts the day with a lead over Tony Quinn. Could the youngster be the dark horse in this year's event? A master of strategy, Quinn makes a move on the second stage and pares back Mannion's lead by lunch. The experienced trio of Cardinal, Siddons and Haseman are fighting it out in Classic GT. But car troubles see Haseman drop out of the contest over Sheffield. Cardinals is holding a steady advantage.
Just got some cooling issues at the moment. It's just electrical, just with one of the fans, so we'll short that so it's on all the time. And we had the gearbox out last night, we had the back end out, the guys were up till 5 a.m. We've sorted the back end issue. We didn't have reverse and we still don't have it. The actual reverse gear is just chewed, so we didn't fix the problem last night. So that's it. It's TARGA Tasmania.
Cardinals isn't the only one on edge.
6 right over the crest. Uh-oh.
In 1991, we heard a rumour that there was going to be a tarmac rally, and every person's dream is to be able to give it a fang on an open road and not worry about the police catching them. I suppose I'm only really unique in the fact that I've done every target. So, yeah, look, it's just, a matter of turning up, isn't it? I started in 1992 in a 1965 Lotus Cortina. I did 3 Targas in that car. In 94, I didn't quite get the Lotus ready. I was able to back my wife's 911 Carrera 2 1991 model out of the garage, much to my wife's displeasure, and I was told that if I pranged it, don't come home. So it must have been written in the gods I did prang it, and but she did let me back in the house. I first raced the yellow Carrera in 1996, and it's done everyone since. In actual fact, the car's in the Targa Hall of Fame in its own right, which means that it must have done 15 Targas and completed 10 Targa plates. I've never won the event in Classic, but I've come second a couple of times, in outright both and in handicap, third a couple of times, and pretty well finished in the top 10 most years. I don't like running on racetracks anymore because you go around in circles and it's pretty monotonous. But in Targa, you've virtually got 40 to 45 racetracks all in a week, and everyone's unique and different. So it gives great variety to your motorsport. I'd like to say I could be here for the next 25, but I can't imagine doing it at 95, can you?
Afternoon action on day 3 in GT2 can't get any more interesting with wide and close level pegging. And the battle for the day's minors is just as tight, with Dean only 2 seconds ahead of Pritchard. Close and wide can't be split after Sheffield, but the Dodge muscles its way through the much-anticipated Setbacks stage and gains 9 seconds. They're going blow for blow, but White eventually takes day 3 honours by just 6 seconds.
Matt's going really well. We're sort of limited by the pace of the tyres, so we can go really strong for 10 or 12 Ks, and then the tyres just get too hot and turn to jelly.
It's absolutely incredible. They're 2 completely different cars, and one has a strength here and another one has a strength there, so I don't think either is so confident of where it's going to end.
Quick off the blocks in the morning section, Andrew White has renewed enthusiasm after cutting Peter Ulrich's lead, but in the first stage after lunch, podium hopes look dashed.
We started the day with a bit of a problem, which turned into a worse and worse problem, losing most of our radiator water every stage. But anyway, so we've got to put another cylinder head on, a standard cylinder head, and that'll get us to Hobart.
Achterberg shoots into second, with Hughes' Ford Falcon now third and Freestone's Aston Martin hot on their heels. But they're all still well off Ulrich, sitting pretty.
I've had a pretty ordinary morning, to be honest, but we got back together in the afternoon. Yeah, we sort of got out of sync this morning.
Matthew Cardinal's 1972 Datsun T40Z has maintained his lead on day 3, but he wasn't expecting this.
Pretty right downhill. Yep, 53 left, hug apex.
I'll come through the 6 left here, and then I've misjudged the braking point and missed the 3 right and straight down into the bank. I'm putting it down to just the driver. Could blame the navigator though, wrong notes, but no, it's all me.
The epic stages through here have claimed many famous victims across the 25 years of Targa: Mick Doohan, Eric Banner and Jack Brabham.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
With Cardinals out, the Siddons Datsun now heads the competition.
I'm here to have some fun. That's all it's about, trying to get through the finish.
To the leaderboard, and all eyes will be on Jason White, chasing his 6th and Matt Close his 1st TARGA Tasmania title. Peter Ulrich is comfortable in the classic competition, but you can't rule out Achterberg, Hughes or Freestone. And John Siddons just needs to stay on the road and get home to Hobart safely in Classic GT. The fishing village of Stanley in Tasmania's northwest is laid back, quaint and modest in nature. Now it's hosting more than 380 of the most exotic and rare vehicles known to man.
The 25th anniversary TARGA Tasmania, my 19th TARGA event. TARGA is something that once you've done it, you do want to keep on doing it. Probably one of the most significant milestone wins that we had was our very first one in the R34 Skyline. We spent quite a few years trying to learn that car and try and make it last. To get that first win and really get the monkey off the back, that really gave us the bug, you know, that first real sense of achievement. The TARGA stories that we have of how you manage to get through an event and get it to the finish line, we could write a pretty good book on, I think. Until you've had the disappointments and a great deal of disappointments, well then the wins feel so much better. It's been a pretty exciting time to get hold of this car and to set about some new challenges. When I first drove the car at Targa Hellier Gorge, it was quite apparent from the very first bumpy corner that it was not good at all. Roads in Tassie, there's all bumps and lumps, and a lot of them you wouldn't even notice driving through at road speed, but when you start hitting some of these patches of road at 200k an hour and above, the bumps amplify. You can train these things to be more of a rally car, but that's where all the homework's just gone into it. It's just been a huge effort. It's very raw compared to the Lambo. It's not as refined as the Lambo, I guess. Everything's so big and beefy and strong, and it's very American. I think it's probably the way that we've looked at it. Targa's been a big part of my life for over 20 years, really. My father did it twice before I got to do it the first time, but Targa's there for anyone to win. It's amazing that we can get out and do that, and Tassie's roads are the best place in the world to do it, I'm sure.
There are 7 stages in total. The first, Montemana, Irish Town and Edith Creek, are being staged for the first time and will provide some good fast action with plenty of dips and curves to navigate. There's the longer Aldina stage and then one of the competitors' favourites, Hellier Gorge. Almost 21 kilometres of pure adrenaline rush. Mount Black and Rosebery complete the day's run. In all, 92k of rallying. The early stages see both Close and White clean Montemana and Irish Town, so White holds his 6-second lead from overnight. There has been a great battle for the minor positions between the Dodge Viper of Michael Pritchard and Craig Dean's Ford Mustang Shelby, but Dean's TARGA Tasmania is abruptly brought to a halt.
Yep, you all right?
Once you clip the dirt 180 kilometres an hour, you're history, really. So I tried to counter steer it through, but it just, you know, as you see the skid marks, it just shot across the road onto the dirt, and I tell you, we're very lucky because we were nearly on our side there.
We're having a good old ding-dong battle there. He was going really well, so I'm disappointed for that.
Close trims White's lead over the 7k Edith Creek stage, but it's the horsepower of the Dodge Viper which prevails over the day's longest stage, Hellier Gorge, and White takes a 10-second lead. Peter Ulrich's Jensen CV8 remains comfortable, but while he has a handy lead over Achterberg's Porsche, he is losing some ground.
When we left Park Thermo this morning, we found we had a cracked head. We've had our fingers crossed. We've just kept it flat out all day and hope for the best.
With Ben Newman out of the driver's seat due to a sudden eye complaint, former TARGA Tasmania winner Steve Glennie is now at the wheel of the Subaru, with Tim Kulhanick in the navigator's seat.
120, 10 left short, 200, care 10 left hug into 7 right half long, for hour 40.
A good time on Hallier Gorge, albeit slower than the best of GT2, sees Glennie now lead by 1 minute and 12 seconds over Ben Mannion's similar Subaru. Ben is driving in honour of his late father Brendan, who had previously competed in the car and sadly passed away just months before this event. Tony Quinn remains third and he's only 3 seconds behind Mannion. The day's final 2 stages remain dry, but some overnight wheel alignment changes means Jason White is now less concerned about his tyres, so he doesn't hold back and ends the day 10 seconds ahead of Close.
You're always fighting for more, but now at least we don't have concerns with our tyres so much anymore. I think we can hold that sort of pace, and it's not doing anything too ugly to the tyres. So that's the thing that's making me grin at the moment.
The smooth Lamborghini Hurricane has a good run over Mount Black, and Quinn finally chases down Ben Mannion, but he's still having traction issues.
It's not getting any better, but no, we're just carrying on. We'll be fine.
There's plenty going on in several other competitions as the event passes the halfway mark. John Siddons dominates Classic GT in his Datsun 240Z ahead of Keith Callanan's Ford Escort. The early modern competition is being dominated by the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo of Alan Rowe. He's more than 4 minutes ahead of the Mazda RX-7s of Andrew Bolam and Mark Bolcom. Brendan Winterbaum is flying and eventually takes end-of-day honours in modern after a good contest with Crow's HSV Monaro Coupe 4 early on day 4. The vintage competition, which is always up there for the most spectator-admired competition, is being led by Wayne Clark's 1938 Dodge Speedster Special, ahead of Graham Copeland's 1936 DeSoto Special.
They were good sweeping stages, which suits these old girls because we slide everywhere. So they were great. I think we'll have some fun tomorrow. Arrowsmith will sort him out. So it's a long way, but no, it's great fun. We're really enjoying it.
And with 26 stages of TARGA Tasmania now just history, Jeff and Nerida Beeble's Nissan Skyline GTR holds a commanding lead of more than 5 minutes in the GT Sports Trophy.
We're enjoying this class. We've done 23 now, so it's a nice easy class, but it's quite fast and competitive and it's a lot of fun.
Recapping the main results, and could Jason and John White be one step closer to a 6th TARGA Tasmania win, albeit with a narrow 10-second lead over a determined Matt Close? Peter Ulrich remains more than a minute clear in the Classic Comp, and in Classic GT, Siddons may now only need to work on his acceptance speech. The long leg from Burnie to Strahan has pushed drivers to their limits. It's a reminder of the harshness of Tasmania's roads as some competitors and their cars succumb to the brutality of the world's largest tarmac rally.
We've just broken a tail shaft on that stage, so we're done.
We've lost 2nd and 4th gear and 6th, so we've lost 3 gears. We've only gone down to a 3-speed manual.
This is the Wild West of Tasmania, where old mining towns and barren landscapes border lush rainforests and tranquil rivers. It's the penultimate day of TARGA Tasmania, and competitors leave the coastal resort village of Strahan. What awaits them is some of the most challenging stages, including the event's longest, Mount Arrowsmith, where TARGA is so often won or lost. There are 6 stages today, the lengthy 33k Strahan stage, then Queenstown, before the mammoth 51k Mount Arrowsmith. Tarraleah is also a test, there's lunch at New Norfolk, then an exciting finish on Grass Tree Hill. It's today that fatigue can set in for both competitors and cars, so endurance is king. The contest between White and Close doesn't let up. White increases his lead on the opening stage of the day at Strahan. The Porsche is 6 seconds faster on the 99 Benz Queenstown stage, reducing White's lead to 15 seconds. This battle is really on, with the Mount Arrowsmith stage up next. Then, the heartbreak. Jason and John White's quest for a 6th TARGA victory is shattered.
About halfway through it started to drop a cylinder out, and you could tell that something wasn't quite right with it, and then it started pumping oil out everywhere, and yeah, it's a big cloud of smoke. So we figured before we burned another one to the ground, we'd pull up and kiss it goodbye. So yeah, that's it for this year.
And by the lunch break, word gets around.
Oh, that's no good. No, that's a shame because he's driving unbelievably well. Really good.
It's a real shame because he was going really well and they're having a fantastic battle with Matt Close in the Porsche.
But still, that moves us up one spot, so we can't complain, but we're sorry to see Jace go.
He may now be eyeing off his first TARGA Tasmania victory, but Matt Close doesn't want it to end like this.
We started 30 seconds behind him, and about 3 kilometres in, yeah, we saw the smoke trail and came across him, and it really threw our rhythm as well, because you want a good stiff competition, you want to win, but you want your best competition next to you on the podium so you can spray him with champagne, so or he sprays me with champagne, one or the other. But yeah, look, we've put up a great fight, and yeah, he's a formidable adversary.
Overnight leader Peter Ulrich has begun the day with a new headache. Plagued by mechanical issues, the Jensen CV8 is overrun by Achterberg.
The axle came adrift. We got through Strahan and then we did a temporary fix and did Queenstown, and then the crew on the other side, so we were able to do a proper fix. So that was all good, and then we cruised down to the next start of Arrowsmith and couldn't start the stage because the door was there. So we've just been following the Porsche tour all morning.
Achterberg climbs into top spot with a 2-minute lead after Mount Arrowsmith, but he too is having problems.
We had a really good run through Arrowsmith this morning. As we come out of it, there was a bit of a rattle in the front end and the ball joints come loose. So we limped through those last couple of stages, and we just need to get something to stop it from falling out. We can get through the next one. We can fix it in service and be good to go again tomorrow.
Everybody's really on the money. It's really fast. So the Freestones, Ulrichs, Barry Foe, everybody's flying.
The afternoon ride heads to Grass Tree Hill as competitors get their first views of the capital city Hobart and wind down over the famous stage after an intense Strahan to New Norfolk run. So there's a changing of the guard on the leaderboard. Matt Close is approaching his first TARGA Tasmania win with a commanding lead of 9 minutes over second in GT2 in a dominant display for Porsche. Lee Achterberg is the new leader in Classic, and the Siddons couple consolidate their lead in Classic GT. Well, what a dramatic day it's been. We've seen the heartbreak of a TARGA podium finish dashed. But for those remaining, it's now all about holding on for the final day and reaching the finish line on Hobart's waterfront. TARGA has captured the imagination and enthusiasm of this island, and there's an excitement amongst the crowd. After all, TARGA has been part of this state since 1992. The finish line is on Hobart's waterfront and amongst the bustling activity of a Saturday market. For competitors though, the celebratory mood is on hold for now as they contest the event's last 6 stages. The final day of TARGA includes runs to the southwest of Hobart before the world's largest champagne finish at Salamanca on the docks of Hobart. Conditions are wet for the first time in this event. The Ulrichs are back in the hunt after being given a derived time overnight and will be out to put the Jensen's axle problems behind them and chase Achterberg's Porsche. The shock retirement of Jason and John White's Dodge Viper because of engine failure is still much of the talk. Matt Close is now just hours from clutching his maiden TARGA Tasmania victory. The headlines are already being written and Close is oh so close. In fact, too close to this power pole. It's an eerie reminder of when Close crashed out in the final throws just 2 years ago. Elsewhere, the carnage is ugly.
Eight righters here on crest, 100 out of this, a 6 right of the junction, 6 right of the junction. 250 out of this. 80 end, crest 39 left.
In true Targa form, it's not over till the fat lady sings. Matt Close now has a flat tyre and must slow to complete the stage. The 9-minute buffer he held over Pritchard's Dodge Viper at the beginning of the day is being reined in. Heartbreakingly close to victory in early modern, Alan Rowe is forced to retire on the 37th stage. It's like a wrecking yard as cars limp their way to the finish line. 49 cars that started won't complete this Targa. The Melbourne-based marine pilot finally cracks the big one after 12 attempts.
Good Tasmanian boy, former Tasmanian, a good England boy, and he's looked solid and racy and controlled all week.
It hasn't sunk in yet, but it will, and that's something that we've 12 Targas. We feel like we deserve it. We feel like we've raced hard from day one and been on the money on stages. I think we, to Jason, his problem, I think it was 8 stage wins to us and 10 to him, and we were just trading times. And so we're pretty proud of the fact that we are genuinely competitive.
That is your podium for Respite GD2.
Taking a look at final results, and Close comprehensively wins GT2 with Michael Pritchard more than 6 minutes back. Targa veteran, gentleman Jim Richards secures third.
It is a fantastic jigger. It asks more of me all the time. I'm not prepared to give it yet, but with a bit more time and a bit more practice, I think it's going to be an absolute bullet.
Queenslander Lee Achterberg hangs on to win the Shannon's Classic.
That is the podium for Shannon's Classic.
First time in this category, it's a pretty good win.
Yeah, we're pretty happy. We came down here thinking that it'd be difficult to get on the podium, and we were hoping to get on the podium, so to actually get on the top step has exceeded our expectations, so we're pretty stoked.
John Siddons gets his wife to Hobart and claims the first Classic GT Targa title.
That is the podium for Shannon's Classic GT.
What a thrill, absolute thrill of a ride. Best driver ever. Sorry all the other drivers, but you got to see this guy to believe it.
The Mazda RX-7 of Andrew Bolam takes the early modern title after Rowe's 11th hour heartbreak.
Early modern, give them a huge round of applause because they have had a massive week.
The longest tarmac rally in the world, so yes, felt long but very special to be here for the anniversary and be on that top step as well. Fantastic result, can't.
Winterbourne snares the modern competition.
That is your podium for 88 Brakes Mod.
We thought, if we can hang in there, we can have a trouble-free run. The results look after themselves. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing, and yeah, it panned out well for us, so very happy.
And Steve Glennie wins GT4.
Our little Subi just performed faultlessly. It was an amazing little car, so we got through.
In the restricted speed competitions, the Beebles lead from start to finish in GT Sports Trophy.
It's the first time the category's been around and we quite love it. It's just as competitive, just with a better element of safety.
And in TSD Trophy, Darryl Marshall proves that utes have what it takes.
With the extra complexity of the TSD, with the average speeds, without him banging me over the head with the road book every second, so slow down, we wouldn't be here.
Dodge still celebrates a Targa victory with the beautiful 1939 Dodge Speedster Special of Wayne Clark winning another vintage competition.
The cars are very reliable, even though they're 80 years old, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun.
I think everybody that comes here has a journey, and everybody that finishes has done a great job.
So after 6 days and more than 2,000 kilometres, how sweet it is for those celebrating their way into Targa history.
Come on, make some noise, Hobart. It's a special time. 25 years of Targa Tasmania.
Well, it's been a fantastic Targa Tasmania, Mark. There was a big build-up and it definitely delivered.
25 years in the making. We had the largest field ever assembled, brand new competitions that totally delivered for us, and we've just had an amazing event.
While we've been reflecting on the past 25 years, the future also looking very bright.
Well, we've got a 5-year deal for the first time in the event's history, which will actually take us to the 30th anniversary event in 2021, so we're very excited.
Congratulations to you and your team. We've all had a wonderful time. That wraps it up from Hobart.